Hi, my name is Tyra Bagley. I am conducting this interview for my personal finance class. Can you introduce yourself and tell us whether or not you are giving consent to this interview being conducted?
My name is Tiffany Randall, and yes, I am giving consent.
Okay. So I wanted to talk to you about a major financial decision that you've had to make. What was your decision?
The significant decision that I made was to buy a house.
Was this decision made independently or jointly?
Well, at first it was independently because I've always wanted to buy a house, but I just didn't know the process or how to go about doing it. But when I got with my partner, that's when it became a joint decision.
Okay. And when did you make this decision and what was happening in your life at the time?
Um, we made the decision in 2020 and COVID pandemic happened, was going on.
Okay. So what factors motivated you to take this step?
Well, at that time, interest rates in the housing market was really low.
Okay. And did it feel like it was a carefully planned out move or was it more of a spontaneous choice?
I think it was carefully planned out because it was something that we've talked about over time.
Okay. And what steps? Okay, so we're going to talk about the preparation and planning portion. So during that time, what steps did you take to prepare for this decision?
Well, prior to meeting my partner, I took the homeowners class several times just to gain a full understanding of the whole process and what I needed to do or what I needed. When I met my partner, she did research. Well, she did research. She asked questions to family members and people that she knew that had already bought a house, and just taking the homeowner classes with her as well. So I took it I took the homeowner classes several times.
Okay. And did you have like a written plan or like a budget?
We did create a budget that that we came up with a budget that was going to tell us that what we were willing to pay for on a house.
Okay. And during that time, did you consult with a financial advisor, family members, or anybody else?
All the above. We did family and friends that people had already went through the process, and what are they called? Financial advisors.
Okay. And then now we're going to focus on the challenges and obstacles. So what challenges arose during the way?
Um, the challenges. I think the housing market was very competitive in COVID because of the interest rates being so low. So when we would put a offer in on a house, it just wouldn't go through because somebody else had already accepted the offer, somebody else's offer. So that happened multiple times.
Okay. And did you encounter any unexpected expenses or risk?
Yes, like inspection fees, the closing costs.
Okay. And then how did you and your partner stay motivated or adapt when challenges or setbacks occurred?
We gotta just remind like ourselves that the long run, like the end game of it was that we were going to have a house that was going to be ours, and just reminded ourselves to be patient.
Okay. And how did this emotional decision, I'm sorry, how did this decision impact your lifestyle or emotional well-being?
Well, like I said earlier, like buying a house was like something I've always wanted to do. So purchasing a house brought a sense of like accomplishment and pride. But during the process, it became emotionally draining for my partner because she took the bulk of everything. So she did all the footwork. So she would research the houses online. She would schedule for us to see these houses. and she would be communicating with the loan officer, with the what is it, the loan officer and
The realtor?
the realtor. And she would just communicate, she would do all the footwork. And I know it became very emotionally draining for her because I didn't help at all.
Well, I'm glad that you acknowledged that you did not help at all.
I didn't help at all. I
And I
had
see that,
limited, I had,
with your story,
yeah,
it
I had limited like involvement like at the beginning of it.
okay. So it does sound like I don't even need to really ask the next question because you answered it. It did sound like it changed your daily routine and her stress level and your sense of financial security.
Yes, yes. So it did financial, like it did change the routine because like we did have to like start financially being mindful of things. We
Mhm.
couldn't eat out, we couldn't go shopping because, once they go through, they go through your financial, like,
Mhm.
your bank accounts with a fine tooth comb, and all that stuff couldn't be on there. So we couldn't, nothing could be on there but paying bills. So
Okay.
we had to be mindful about that. Just our spending and saving. And then, like I said, it did create a stress level, but it didn't change the relationship of our, change the nature of our relationship. She just communicated that, like, hey, eh, this is stressful. You need to help. So eventually, after her saying that a couple times, it was just like, okay, and actually seeing it physically taking a toll on her, I kind of, took on some of the, well, we did like a 50-50, everything not 50-50. So sometimes it was like 60-40.
I appreciate your honesty. I I appreciate your honesty. Okay, so after everything is all said and done, was it the financial outcome you expected?
Yes, yes. Overall, the outcome has been positive. So with the interest rates being as low as they were in 2020, I actually feel kind of like I got my house for a steal, compared to now, so
Okay. So if you could go back, what advice would you give yourself at the start?
mm, be patient, have more involvement, and be prepared for anything.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, so now let's think about the ongoing financial considerations. Are there continuing payments, responsibilities, or benefits with this?
Yes, just home ownership period, because you got, nobody talks about, like, everybody wants this, oh, sorry, this big house with this fenced in yard and all that, but nobody talks about, hey, who gonna cut this yard? Are you gonna cut it, or you gonna pay somebody to cut it? Then how much they gonna charge you? Because it ain't no $50 just a backyard and front yard no more. Depends on the size of your yard, So you got your yard maintenance, you got just maintenance in the house, you got your mortgage, your things of that nature. So there's things that people don't talk about that you're financially responsible for.
Okay, well, all right, this is my last question. Was the decisions aligned with your long-term goals or ethical values?
Uh, yes. I know I'm this probably the third time. Like, I've always wanted to buy a house. I've never been. I grew up in an apartment, and I never knew anybody that owned a house. So that was one of my goals. Is I need a house.
Okay. All right, I know I said that was your last question, but this really is your last one. All right. Has your perspective on money changed as a result of making this decision?
Yes, I think it's like made me financially more disciplined because of the um financial responsibilities that homeownership brings.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for participating in my
Cause
interview.
baby, this the snowstorm could have took this tree out in back of my house and it could have hit my house. And Lord Jesus, that would have been an unexpensive. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
See, yeah.
Home ownership isn't for everybody. It's not for everybody. But I thank you so much for conducting this interview with me. You have a blessed day.
You as well.